Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I am a little bit late because I was recording a video for tonight. It's going to drop tonight. You're going to want to make sure you're subscribed, hit notifications, and it's about Ronan Farrow and some new tea in the It Ends With Us lawsuit. We're not going to talk about it here, though. And if you are a member of the channel, we are going live after this, so about 11 to 11:15 a.m. Eastern. And we are going to be talking about a new investigative report that I have coming on Monday. You're going to get first looks at it on MNTN, Mountain, Ryan Reynolds, and maybe new shady dealings. Guys, I can't wait until Monday. I suck at keeping secrets. So I'm going to let the members know all about it today. I'm sorry, but everyone will get the full report on Monday. Welcome to the chat, guys. We have Leanne and citizen journalist CJ here today. Are you guys excited? These amazing women are spending their Saturdays with us. This is so cool. I'm really excited about this. They've been waiting. I'm late. They've been waiting, so I'll let them in. Hello, guys. So nice to see you. And we're going to talk about a couple things. CJ was in the courthouse in the hearing for Perez, so we're going to talk to CJ about that. And Leanne and I were chatting this morning about the new filings for Perez Hilton, because if you've been watching Perez Hilton, he was talking about new filings. I guess he made a new one last night in response to something the judge said. I haven't had a chance to dive in, but that's why we have Leanne here, who's a lawyer. Bring all the friends to hang out. All right, let's let them in. Hello.
Hi.
How are you guys?
Good. How are you? Good morning.
Good. And CJ, you're on video. Beautiful woman. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm thinking about my PST followers on my morning show because I'm feeling them. It is way too early.
It's way too early. Well, then give CJ a shout out, guys, because she's here. It's way too early, and she still got up to hang out with us.
Yeah, Leanne, I have new appreciation. I have new appreciation for all the followers that are on PST that show up for my lives.
I love it.
But they love y'all got to be replay crew. I get it. I get it now.
7 a.m. for you, Leo. Oh my goodness. 9 a.m. in Texas. It's 10 a.m. here on Eastern. Leanne, what time is it for you? How are you doing, my love?
Hi, both. I'm all right. It's 3 in the afternoon here, so.
Oh, it's not too bad there for you then.
No.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm tired because I had a late night last night, but I'm good. Really happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh my goodness, of course. You know, it's also a little bit selfish. I get to hang out with my friends and with the chat, so it's a little bit selfish on my part as well. All right, my friends, let's hit the ground running. CJ, I would love to hear, because I figure we have like a whole Perez type deep dive today. I'd love to hear, because there was a lot of kind of conflicting info at the end of the hearing. Perez, rightfully so. I mean, he's got to be so stressed, was really stressed, felt like he had a big loss in Nevada. And you had come out, and I loved your interview with Andy. It was so good. I was like cheering you on. Like, that's CJ.
I know. And then my phone overheated, so I couldn't come back on to like the Popcorn Planet show. So that was a bummer. So I'm gonna have to catch up with him again. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but maybe Monday. Give him the full sit down. But yeah, so that was the only bummer about that.
Yeah, that is such a bummer. Oh my goodness. He'll have you back though. So I'd love to hear, because we have another hearing coming up, and then Leanne and I will all dive into the new court filings too, but I'd love to hear from you on your thoughts. What going into Tuesday, because he has his next hearing Tuesday, are you feeling confident about this judge? Or are you a little bit nervous?
I feel confident about him. I don't even know where to look. So I'm sorry, y'all, if I'm like looking here, looking there. It's my first time on camera. So I feel really confident because he was really, really nice to Perez, like really, really nice. At one point, he said, he used the words, he was like, I admire and respect your legal argument, which I thought was like really, really cool. And that's why when Perez got to my interview, like I know he had like the MSM with all the hard questions and stuff. And then by the time he got to me, and he was like super defeated. And I was like, you know, there was some wins. And he's like, no, there wasn't. I was like, listen, I'm reading him from my notes. I don't know if y'all saw it on my live. It's still up, but I'm reading from my notes. Like the judge literally said he admired and respected your legal argument. And that's a win to me. Like he went in there knowing his stuff, Perez did. And Meryl was fighting for her life. She literally was. She did a misstep where she basically told him, as a proud Nevadan, I know that you, like, basically trying to say that because he's a proud Nevadan that he was going to rule a certain way. And he literally just cuts her off and was like, no, like, as a proud Nevadan, I'm talking about the law. And then she apologized to him and was like, sorry, I didn't mean to misstep or whatever. So he did not really like Meryl. Like, I did not see that connection with Meryl. He was kind of like irritated with her word salads and stuff. And that's just my perspective. I got to stop touching my face too. That's what people were like, touching your
you do you, girl. That's what this whole channel's about. You touch whatever you want.
So I'm like, touch my face, scratching my nose. Well, I'm trying to, like, get better at like being live because I've never been live before. So I do take, the followers' feedback. But anyways, yeah. So Meryl was just fighting for her life. And the judge kept giving Perez like, hey, let me tell you what's going to be asked for from the next hearing. And I believe the paperwork that just dropped was what the judge was saying would be asked for. Because he's like, either way, this is what you need to prepare your argument for next time. And so the judge, would help out, like he was trying to help him out. So I think it's going to be good for Perez because the judge, I didn't see nothing bad from the judge towards Perez. I felt like he liked him. So, and then the law is on Perez's side. I mean, I've read and reread and looked into other case law and stuff, and the law is on Perez's side.
That's so good. And then, do you think, and Leanne, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well. I almost wonder when these high-powered, like fancy lawyers come in, if the judge is just like, look, no shenanigans here. Like, this is the law. This isn't a circus. Did you get kind of the feeling that it was going to be no bullshit with him? CJ, you can go first. Yeah, we'll do CJ first, and then Leanne can go.
Okay, like, I heard Leanne's name. Yeah, it was like he was very laid back. Like, I don't know, I just liked his vibe. Like the whole time he was just very laid back, and he was like, even when Perez was like not really answering the exact question he wanted him to answer, like about the burden, like what burden would it put on you? And Perez was talking about the burden on like the paperwork and all that stuff. And he's like, but that'll happen regardless, whether it's here or there. And instead of getting like frustrated with Perez, he was very, very patient. But he was not like that with Meryl. He was not like that with Meryl. So I don't know. That's just my opinion of the way I saw it. Maybe some other people saw it different. But that's just how I saw it. And I have this feeling that after it ended, you know how like the press all left. So a lot of people missed the last half of it because it had already ended. Yeah, it had already ended. And they were just picking a date for the next court hearing. And so all the press in the back row left. Like most everybody left. There was only a couple of us. And I was like, I'm not leaving because I don't want Perez to walk out here defeated. Like, I'm going to walk, like, he needs someone here to walk out with him, you know? So I stayed there, whatever. And then as they're coming up with the date, Perez is like, excuse me, I just need clarification on jurisdiction. Like, I don't understand how he can have jurisdiction and so can you and all this stuff. And for some reason, like, I know that it does take a long time to do like a legal filing and write it up and stuff. But I have this feeling that like at the very end, Perez with his question and stuff made like an impact on the judge to where the judge might have called Lyman and been like, you know, like this is going to be a real mess if you get it. Because Perez was basically pointing that out. Like it makes no sense. And he kept saying over and over, like 4 or 5 times, he was like, jurisdiction belongs here. Like he knew it by the law. He's like, Rule 45. He said that like 4 or 5 times. Like, I am confident the jurisdiction is here. And so I'm like, in my eyes, I felt like Perez made his argument so much that, you know, the judge went and called because he said that him and Lyman had been talking.
Because it was like immediate that we got Lyman's ruling as well. So that makes sense.
So I don't know. In my little pie in the sky head, I'm like, Perez won that with his last minute argument.
I love it. I'm so glad you were there. And for Perez standing up for himself, I mean, that's scary. I would be so scared going up against 3 of her lawyers.
Yeah. I mean, they weren't as scary as like I thought they were. Like I thought Meryl, because on paper she looks really good. Like all the facts. I covered her for the Drake case, not knowing that she had been dropped from it. But she was like, you know, I was kind of giving her flowers on that stream with the Drake case. I was like, you know, she looks very educated and But in person, she just, I don't know. It was underwhelming to me, at least. You know, I watch like lawyers a lot, like Jose Baez, and I'm kind of like a lawyer connoisseur.
Yeah.
So to me, it just didn't. And then the old guy, I put old guy with glasses because I didn't know him. I think it's Parker. He didn't talk at all. The only argument came from her. So it wasn't like he had all these like lawyers, like, you know, all talking. Only one person was allowed to talk, and yeah, it was Meryl.
That's so good. And Leanne, how do you think that goes with some of these judges when they have high-powered lawyers walking in the courtroom? Do you think they just him almost to feel you're getting maybe is no bullshit, that it's going like this is the law and that's the law?
Yeah, I think so. Judges have got to keep order in their court. My personal experience over here in the UK is they don't I'm trying to find the right word, but you know, they don't kind of give some kind of favoritism to lawyers from, you know, large law firms and elite lawyers, I guess. But they're very sensitive to pro se parties, and they have to be because there's a huge imbalance. I was saying this last night to DFJ. If I was to go and represent someone with 7 years of university training, 20 years working in the profession, you know, that the person who then is going up against me with no experience would be at a huge disadvantage.
Right.
So they've got to be understanding, and they are usually quite more lenient towards lack of knowledge, to find the balance then, so there is fair justice.
Right. And I guess that's what Lyman had said as well in his ruling, right? He said, even though technically, I guess Perez did file something in his court, he said, I have to take in consideration he's pro se.
Yeah, but I remember because I when he filed that, I'm sure I come on your show then to sort of like, because I think you asked me, does that mean he's put himself at issue for the New York court? And I never really did think that he did, just by filing for a protective order, because it's the right forum to request that. Lively is under the jurisdiction of Lyman. The lawsuit is in New York. The Nevada judge is just dealing with this, the compliance of the subpoena. So he can't really put an order on Lively. So I think New York is the right venue. If I was to do, say, to Perez, I would have do something different. I would have waited until the subpoena was resolved before filing for a protective order. But that's a personal choice, though, really. But I didn't think it was enough because he never actually conceded jurisdiction in New York. So, and Lyman did say that because I know Lively made the argument, well, by filing, you know, he's basically waived his right to object. No, he didn't, because he made a point of saying quite vehemently that New York does not have jurisdiction.
That's true. And I honestly, for me, the way Perez has gone about this has been, he's obviously done his research. I think he calls ChatGPT his dad. I love it.
Yeah. I had given him a super chat, and I was like, for your ChatGPT legal fees.
Your ChatGPT legal fees. I love it. He has done such a great job. And for those that are newer to the channel, you might not realize Leanne is the one who really stepped up to the plate. You were subpoenaed by Blake through X. Myself and many others were subpoenaed through Google, and you stepped up to the plate to help all of us figure this out before you even got subpoenaed.
That was wild.
It's a wild time.
It was a wild time. Yeah, there was. We had to learn many jurisdictions in a very quick period of time.
Yeah, that was wild. Oh, CJ, there's a super chat here. Amanda says, CJ, you are absolutely gorgeous. Love seeing you.
My hair, now that I can see myself, it's like crazy because I'm like fixing my hair. It's like you get more self-conscious. Thank you.
You're amazing. I would love to see you more on your channel reporting face-to-face instead of your pig. Great job yesterday.
Yeah.
Everyone loves you.
Oh, really quick about the jurisdiction. I wanted to say something because at the very end, Meryl basically said, she tried to bring up the protective order because she was basically like, it doesn't matter if he transfers. Because when Perez brought up his really good jurisdiction argument at the very end, you know, like after it had supposedly ended, and he was like, you know, it doesn't make sense. It's going to be all complicated. Like my jurisdiction is here. And then so she goes, either way, you won't be able to avoid foreign issues because even if there's no jurisdiction, he still has that ruling on the protective order. And then the judge just straight up shut her down. Like, yeah, I agree. He was like, I agree that there'll be foreign issues, but like what we're talking about is the transfer of the jurisdiction. Like he wasn't having her, because basically she was trying to say like, no matter what, there'll be, you know, two jurisdictions, you know, involved. But to him, it felt like the protective order wasn't going to be like a big foreign issue or whatever. But I just thought that was like another little thing that happened there at the end.
That's so interesting. And Marilyn, I agree. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friends. Wisdom comes from experience. Perez is a very rich man. Absolutely. Welcome to the channel, MB. Oh my goodness. We're going to have such a good members only live today. I can't wait to tell you guys what was sent to me. I didn't find it was sent to me, but I can't tell you by who. And thank you, Guitar Noob. 10 memberships to the channel. Let me know if you got one of the memberships in the chat. Are you joining us on the members only live today? Okay, so I think this is a great segue as well. Don't worry, I'm going to tell everyone on Monday. I'm putting together like the nice expose, but I'm stuck at keeping secrets. I have to tell someone. Okay, so CJ, you mentioned that he had the ruling, and I know that ruling in regards to the documents and stuff is what was getting Perez a little bit nervous after the hearing last. So is what we're seeing in the new documents, I haven't seen them because I can't seem to find them for free. Is that what the judge had been talking about, or have you heard about the new documents that went up?
Yeah, he made a video. Go support Perez over on his channel. It's a roller coaster over there. He had made a video like super excited about the win, and then talking about how he wrote a letter to Ezra, and everyone's like, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that," because it was a real spicy letter.
Oh, really? I missed that.
Oh my gosh, he went full, he was like, "Hey cuties," like he went full on, just like the letters, he went full on like, "Heard y'all lost" type of thing. Like, I don't know verbatim word for word, but it was basically like, "I heard y'all lost." And he was basically trying to ask, "Oh, thank you." I get my suit was banging. I said it was giving faux de doigts because it was like that Joker, you know, Joker 2, the burgundy from Joker 2. So I was like, it's giving faux de doigts. So Tuesday when I go, I want to do the little dance on the steps like faux de doigts, recreate it. If I do wear the same thing, but what was I saying? So he made this letter and he's just like, you know, do you guys want to drop the subpoena to avoid the embarrassment of me winning on Tuesday?
Oh my God.
We're like, "Perez, there's such thing as humility, and like you shouldn't have done that." And the title of the video is like, "You won't regret it." But anyways, that's just a sneak peek. Go watch it because I mean, he does have a degree in theater for a reason.
That's true too.
It's so great when he reads it. It is so great. But anyway, so he makes that video all excited, and then later comes back on last night and is like, "I feel so unwell." And I'm like, "Oh my God, what happened now?" Yeah. And so the judge basically filed something that said that he has to bring in any of the potential documents that were being requested for in-camera review ex parte by like the judge, I guess. And then there was another part, I believe, where he had said at the hearing about him being prepared to argue like the burden of the costs and things that it would take him and how long, like a time limit of how long it would take him to gather up all the information. So I haven't had a chance to read all the way through that new filing. But I just watched his video and like, you know, what he read from it and how he felt. So he's super nervous because that's a lot of work for him as pro se to have to do that, you know, in the next 3 days.
And yeah, in only 3 days too.
Yeah, Leanne, but go support his channel and watch it if y'all can.
Yeah, absolutely. And Anomaly, I think Perez made the judge realize eyes are on him. I think he did a great job with that as well. And thank you so much for the super chat. I agree. Leanne, can you describe, I'm going to run and get coffee if there is coffee. Hopefully there's coffee. But can you describe for us, what does all of this mean? What is ex parte in a camera? Like, to me, it goes over my head. I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. It's it sounds like a much bigger deal than it actually is. what ex parte means, it's a Latin term, and it means basically court proceedings for one person, one party, without the other party being present. What the court has ordered in Nevada is that Perez has to come with a list of materials, not the materials themselves, but a list of the materials that are covered by the subpoena. And he's got to present the list to the court for the court to have a look. And that's what in-camera review means. It's not normally it doesn't involve a camera. But what it means is the court is going to look at this list and decide whether privilege applies or not. And the reason this is happening is because there is a dispute over whether the information is privileged. Lively is saying it's not, Perez is saying it is. So an in-camera review is quite a normal process that gets used to settle the dispute. We've got a couple of other cases of in-camera reviews going on in the case, like with Case and Coslow and so on. So the ex parte bit means that it will be done. Lively and her lawyers will be excluded, so they won't be getting anything unless the judge subsequently decides that privilege does not apply.
Okay, so then in 3 days he has to get together. In camera then is not like literally a camera. It's
not
just
on camera. No.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it's not. He doesn't have to get the documents themselves. He's been asked for a list of documents.
Okay.
It'll probably be a bit like privilege log, really. It'll be the date, who's involved, who's talking to who, what's the subject about, and what privilege applies, and a kind of a brief description of why he thinks that applies.
Oh, man. So I guess even in this situation, then the judge would still have to have kind of that like compassion for being pro se. For me, I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I've extended an offer to Perez. If he wants to drop me a message, I can talk him through anything, or I can look at it over and say, oh, yes, this, what you've done would cover this request. Cassidy has also invited him to contact her, so help is available if he wants it, by all means. But he is doing a great job. So, but it's very overwhelming to be going through all of this. So I do understand that.
It absolutely would be.
But that's that part. So that's the ex parte in camera review part. Then there's an additional piece then. So both parties have been ordered to provide supplemental briefing regarding whether and how privileges under the federal common law, including but not limited to the qualified reporter privilege, apply. And he's got to get that to the court. He's got to get all of this to the court by 9 a.m., even though the hearing's at 1:30. So I think he's got to be there at 9 in the morning with all this information.
Because the way I understand, so he would only, sorry, I'm plugging in my computer. He would, and welcome to the channel. I'm not a bot 55. Proving you're not a bot. I love it. So if, for example, and I guess I don't know if it's different in every state, I have no idea, but if in theory the judge decides like you're not a journalist, you're like quote unquote just, and I don't mean that as a bad way, an influencer, just a content creator, would then he be more likely, I guess, to have to turn everything over, or less, or is it the same kind of thing?
It's not as simple as that.
Okay.
So if he's not deemed a journalist, that doesn't automatically mean he's got to turn everything over. There is still, there will still be other arguments potentially. But I mean, he won the jurisdiction, and it's great that it's in Nevada because they do have incredibly strong laws. But he has not won the motion to quash yet, so that's the next hurdle for him, and it is a hurdle.
Really quick, I wanted to say, because I don't think that the journalist's argument is going to fly at all. There's no way. I've read and reread and triple read and quadruple read the Nevada Shield law and the federal reporter's privilege, but the Nevada Shield law, it encompasses digital creators, and he's a digital creator.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
and blogger. So both of those were put into the Nevada Shield law. So I don't know. Obviously, you know, I'm not a lawyer, but from what I read and reread like a bunch of times, it's not only does it encompass digital creators, it also, like, the definition of, you know, what you can report on, you know, like, because a lot of people were like, I think it was an argument that he's like a celebrity gossiper. It's not
Okay.
news. Like, it's not, it has to be news. He's not reporting news, but it doesn't. It's just anyone who gathers information and disseminates it. So I don't know. In my opinion, I don't think that argument is going to fly at all. Like, he's not a journalist, because I mean, if it was any other state, maybe, but not in Nevada.
And I agree with that. I do. I'm loath to say, oh, I think he's going to be fine, because I don't want people then, if it doesn't pan out, I don't want people to come back and say, but you said he was going to be fine. But I'm not so worried. The thing is despite the strength of the laws of the state, he has still got to plead his case, and he's got to do it succinctly.
Yeah.
But I think if he can do it, and I've got no doubt that he can, but if he makes a strong argument, I think he should be absolutely golden. That's my opinion.
Meryl actually made this argument. DFJ looked it up, and I think we might go live tomorrow or at some point before Tuesday, because she can better explain it, because I didn't look into the law. But there was one point where Meryl was like, I want to, and we may see that additional supplement. She said she wanted to file a supplemental motion, because that they had uncovered some kind of thing in the Nevada Shield law that happened in 2014 that was like kind of like, not loophole or what, I don't know how to explain it, so I don't want to explain it, but DFJ knows it, and she said it had no legs or whatever, but because she looked it up. Yeah, that was like a little Easter egg in there, where she was at the end like, you know, I'm thinking of filing a motion to supplement because we've uncovered, and I wish I had my little notebook. It's in my suitcase somewhere, but exactly like what the wording was.
Interesting.
Is it in the minutes?
It was in the chat when I did my live reading of the notes. So if you guys go back to that one, there's a little like bit of what it is, but she looked further into it, and she was like, yeah, we should do a show so I can explain it.
Interesting. Oh my God. Well, now we want to know. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, are we surprised though with Lively's team trying to find like a sketchy loophole? Like they do that with their PR, they stretch the truth. I mean, they said they had those meet and confers with all of us in terms of the content creator subpoenas. I genuinely don't trust them. And I saw a video by Not Actually Golden where she basically said the same. Like not exactly those words. That's not a direct quote, but after the way they've stretched the truth so many times, you start to not believe her side.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they do lose credibility. That shocked me. You know, that response we got to our motions from Ezra Hudson, implying specifically with us five, that she had meeting confers, she got what she wanted, you know, so she didn't need the subpoenas anymore. I think that rattled me quite a bit as well. I've seen lawyers kind of bend the truth. That was a different level, because they did have meet and confers. Technically, what she was saying wasn't untrue, but it wasn't with us, and the letter was about us, not the other people who she had meet and confers with. And I still don't know anyone who actually turned over anything.
No, I don't either. And she played it as if they had. Actually, that's a great segue, because I wanted to touch on as well the interesting polarity here, because I know I can't remember if it was towards you, CJ, or someone else on Popcorn Planet stream, but one of the questions someone had been asked is, do you think things would have gone differently had there been a lawyer for Perez? And now that we know Megyn Kelly had got a subpoena, and her technically the company, not her personally, Blake and Leslie Sloan, okay, but they had got a subpoena and fought it, but they still seem to be going after Perez. I'd love to hear both your thoughts on that. Do you think things would have been quashed a lot faster if Perez had a lawyer, or do you think no, we'd still be where we are right now? CJ, did you want to go first?
I mean, well, as far as the hearing, I don't think it would have mattered either way if he had a lawyer, because he wasn't going to make a ruling or decision anyway that day, like he had already said it was just, he wanted to hear the arguments about the transfer.
Okay.
I don't think that it would have mattered whether he had a lawyer there or not. I mean, maybe it could have helped another argument. Like I said, I felt like he did really well. As far as like squashing it from like the very beginning, I don't know, because one of the things that I felt strongly about Perez that was really cool was that he's like, I'm not going to waste a dime on her, because that's what she wants to do. And that's why a lot of the content creators also didn't go out and get a lawyer and stuff like that, because the reason why he didn't want to get a lawyer, he's like, I'm not being sued. Like, the worst case scenario is she gets everything, so I'm prepared for that. But I don't know. I don't know if it gets squashed faster with or without a lawyer, because look, the content creators didn't have lawyers, and
that's true.
It didn't get squashed as fast, but it was still fairly quick.
That's a good point.
So I don't know. I don't think that it would have mattered whether or not he had one or not, as far as like how quickly it would be resolved.
What are your thoughts, Leanne?
Well, because Andy actually messaged me in the last sort of half hour of his show. Oh, yeah, last half hour or so, and said, "Oh, can you come on and have a chat with me?" So I did, and he asked me the same question, and I actually agreed with what CJ's just said. No, I don't think it would have made a difference for yesterday, because he wasn't intending to make a decision. I'm not entirely sure what the whole point of the hearing was, really, but I mean, one thing I will say is that letter was that was done over a couple of days. The 7-page order from Judge Brown, that was not done after the hearing. They didn't have well, they probably did have a chat, but he didn't then go away and start writing the order. It was done for some time before the hearing. Whether he amended it or tweaked it, but the meat and bones of it all was already in place. There was a lot of case law, and he covered. In fairness to Lyman, I have my issues with his rulings, but he's obviously left open without prejudice, the ruling was, so Lively can refile. But the way he has gone through the arguments, I think he's cut off every source of oxygen for her to argue. So she's going to need something completely new, and I can't see her finding it. But I wouldn't put it past her either, because this could end up being another Jed Wallace situation where she files something with a social media post screenshot or something.
You read my mind. I was like, well, she's going to put a picture of her in her florals in New York and be like, see, this is why Perez needs to come to New York. Like,
I was interviewed on a news channel in New York.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like in my little head, I don't care. No one could tell me no different. In my little head, the Nevada judge was like, yo, Judge Lyman, this guy's just like, he's got kids. Perez, he did say, this is affecting his kids and his job and stuff. And so I feel like he's just like, dude, I saw this guy, he was here in his floral suit. Like, let's not complicate these things. He made a good point that it's going to be a mess, like going back and forth. Because he did make a good point that either way, even if New York got jurisdiction, if he didn't comply, because that was another good point that Perez made. He said, I'm just letting you know that I will not comply over there, so it will get bounced back here. And I think that might have gotten because in order to enforce the subpoena, to compelling that subpoena, only Nevada can enforce it, because he's a resident of Nevada. So when he said that, I was like, that could have convinced him to be like, okay, this guy's going to go over there, complicate things. It's going to come back to me. That's more work for me. We're going to be here again anyway. And so in my little head, I don't know. I feel like the judge went over there and said, let's give this guy a break and bring him back over here or whatever. Let me handle it.
The only acceptable way this went down is, hey, yo, the way you started that is the only acceptable way I will see this now from.
I mean, that's the way I see it in my little head.
I mean, it was the right decision, though, because we made these arguments in our own motions to quash, didn't we, Ashley? That, Nevada is the right state for compliance of the subpoena. So it would have been have something, an argument that Lively brought that would have been so compelling to have got it transferred in the first place. And the reason they did it with, like, people cite Friedman's, the law firm one that was transferred from California. But the reason they were okay to do that was, one, Friedman's firm really didn't argue against the case Lively made to have it transferred in the first place. Because Friedman, the law firm was participating in the lawsuit in New York anyway. They were the counsel. And because they did actually have a New York office as advertised on their website. So that's why that transfer went through. Perez has none of those things, none of those factors. He's a non-party. He's not tied to New York at all, and she could not tie him. So it was the right decision, I think. I'm really happy with that.
I love hearing that. And Marilyn has a question. Thank you so much for the support and super chat. How does this matter? And I'll need you ladies to help with this. How does this matter in SDNY? Said nothing after February 18th matters. Oh, because he did cut it off February 18th, right? Does this matter at all? Does it play a role, guys?
Yeah, it's kind of important, actually. From the perspective of any discovery, if there is something that has to be turned over for both Perez and for Andy as well, it only goes as far as the 18th of February. Anything after that, they don't have to, unless the judge issues a supplemental order specific to the circumstances, then they don't have to turn over anything that goes beyond that date. So that will limit what he has to provide. So this list should only, the list of all of the various documents that he's, he's saying are privileged. He should only have to go up to the 18th of February.
Okay, so and it's interesting because all along Blake's kind of said, like, until present day, and she just keeps kind of trying to push it out, and he finally put his foot down. CJ, what do you think about that? Him finally putting his foot down and drawing the line?
I honestly think that, I wonder if this is my thing. I wonder if Wayfair hadn't put that middle path date. Like, one of my theories was that they put the middle path date because they know Lyman. And so it was like, he's not going to rule in our favor for December, right? And then she wants from present day. So what if we give him a middle path date and it's an easy out? That's my
exactly
theory.
What happened. I'll tell you that now. That's exactly what happened. I think if they hadn't put the date in, he probably would have given her till present day.
But I do feel like I was not happy about the February 18th date. I was like, it should have been the December date because she, like you said, she keeps trying to move the goalposts. Sorry, y'all, I keep shifting. Like I'm it's like being on camera. I'm gonna have to get used to like being still. I see Ashley all professional, just like chilling, and I'm over here like scooting. So sorry if I'm making anybody dizzy because I'm also just like leaning up against the bed, so I'd be like slouching down. But I apologize in advance for all the moving around, shifting. Like, I don't know where to look, what to do, like when people are talking. So I'll get used to it.
Don't apologize. Everyone starts somewhere, right? Like, don't apologize. And one of the things, I'm going to be honest, that I love the most about Perez is he is such a testament that you can build such a huge following without it being fancy anyway. Look at Perez. He's like on his phone, moving around, walking around his house while he's alive. It doesn't, just build your own brand, girlfriend. You'll figure it out as you go. Please don't apologize, especially here. The one thing that is like the cornerstone of this community.
It's a good place to test out the shiftiness. I'm over here like wobbling.
This community is all about being you. Hey, I mean, Nightbot we had yesterday, and Nightbot was putting the, laying down the law. You weren't allowed to be yourself yesterday.
Someone said, I said hello. What did I do? I was like, use that capital H and hello.
Yeah, actually shut it down. No capitals, guys. Laura Trainer, I want to celebrate a couple members. 4 months as a member. Oh, and one of our amazing mods as well. I'm so proud of you, CJ, for being brave and confident on camera. You look like a reporter who's done it her whole life. I will say, if I didn't know you were you, I would have thought you were a reporter your entire life.
So the weird part, the little Easter egg too, was in the morning. We were the first ones there because I was like, I'm gonna be there early. We were there way too early.
Yeah.
And so we're setting up. My friend, shout out to my friend Nico from BTS LV, who came out with his equipment. Y'all go follow BTS LV. It's a magazine that covers film and film premieres, everything film. So that was really, really sweet of him to come out and help me. And so he's setting up the tripod. It was funny because Andy's like, what equipment? I'm like, it's just a tripod. And we put my phone on it. And then the mic, he had like, oh my God, he let me live my April O'Neil dream because he had the full on reporter mic and everything. When he out, I was like, be still, my heart. I get to fulfill my April O'Neil dream. So the security guard came down. He was like, what's going on? What are you guys doing? And we're like, oh, we're here for the Perez Hilton. We're reporting. He's like, are you media? Did you ask permission? And I'm like, I didn't know we had to ask permission. Like, and it was weird because he said someone was going to come and talk to us. And I don't think anybody ever did, unless someone came and talked to Nico. But I just started streaming. Like, we waited like 15 minutes. And then I'm like, oh, well, we'll just start streaming. And if somebody comes down and tell us no, we'll stop, you know? But yeah, they thought that I was like professional media or something. But I've been practicing since I was a kid. That's why I was telling Ari that I look up to her too, because she kind of has the same story. Like, she, you know, would practice, and she has that little video where she's got the little cardboard TV and stuff.
Yeah.
So not my whole life, but practicing with a little tape recorder and just messing around. So.
No, you're doing great. And we guys,
Julie Brown.
I love
MTV PG.
And guys, everyone has to know the April O'Neil reference, right? Like, we all have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We all have to know the April O'Neil. That is so badass. I love you even more for making that reference.
Maybe people in other countries. I don't know how international. Because there were some people who didn't know on my when I was reading the court notes. So I was like, maybe it's not international, the TMNTs. But yeah, that reference is April O'Neil. But yeah, big shout out to Nico, because he even was like, you hold the mic in the diaphragm. And the reason why it looked so professional was also because of Nico's advice, because he's like, when you're going to interview someone else, don't cross your arm. You change arms and give the mic. And so that's why I was like, I got this during both Ari's interview and Perez's interview.
I love, and Roses Wild is singing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle song in the chat. We're nerds around here. I mean, you know, Pikachu, Pokemon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Hens Homestead says, we love you, Leanne. We're so happy to have you here. And thank you so much, guys. And Haley, congrats on 4 months. I believe that the judge in Nevada knew since Perez was on his own, he wanted to know Perez's arguments and a hint to Perez everything he needs to be legally protected, like burden, etc., so he can win. What are your thoughts, Leanne? Do you think the judge was trying to give him a hand with that?
Yeah, I think so. I think he was, you know, he was giving him some hints to help him out. Like I say, because of the lack of legal knowledge he's got, the judge will give him more sort of guidelines on how to respond, what it is he's looking for. So yeah, I mean, they do that to lawyers as well. You know, they'll explain, right, this is what I'm looking for, but they will I don't want to say dumb it down further for pro se, but you know what I mean, in more plain language.
Absolutely. And Haley is another one of our amazing mods. I wanted to add that as well. Thank you, Haley. She notices what you guys are mentioning and lets me know if there's any common themes. Yes, please like the stream. Where are the Power Rangers? We love the Power Rangers.
I love them too. But really quick on the mods, y'all, like, you guys do God's work, because I always come onto the streams and it works on me every single time, because I never come on the stream and like the stream, like, no matter what. And I'm like, I'll tell myself like, okay, start liking the stream before, like, right when you click it. But usually when you click on the link, it opens up the YouTube app and then it's just, you know, there. So when they hit the reminder, all the mods, when they're like, hit that like, even right now while we were talking, I was like, I went and grabbed my phone and I was like, oh, let me hit the like. So kudos to the mods for always reminding, at least me, because that's the only way to get a like out of me is with the little reminder.
And Leo has been great from the beginning with that. Oh my goodness. When I went from streaming more, because previously it was like branding, marketing, PR with a pop culture flavor. And then when I flipped over, and you're not really doing like the YouTube things for that. And so when I flipped over more of like pop culture with a flavor of PR marketing and branding, Leo was always in the chat, like, Ashley, like, posting the like every 2 seconds for me. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to say that. But yes, the mods are so amazing and keep things running smoothly. And then, I just throw things in to cause chaos with Nightbot yesterday. Why not cause a little bit of chaos on a Friday?
I thought it was so funny, and it was something cool. I thought, like, because it created such fun in the chat and stuff, so I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
I wasn't there live, but I was like, yeah, once I heard about it, I was like, oh my God, the Nightbot. I think I caught it like towards the end.
And Leanne, you sent me a message this morning saying that too. I was like, and I said to Leanne, I'm so grateful for this chat. By the time I noticed there were issues, I was like, oh my gosh, we've been going for like an hour and a half or something. There's been issues. And everyone's like, no, we were having a great time in the chat.
It was funny. It was funny. I can imagine it was probably quite frustrating as well.
Yeah. So funny. So I would love to hear from both of you guys, and then we'll likely wrap it up after this. And then we'll go over members only. I created a live stream for you, so you'll have a link for that. Oh my goodness, EM got a free membership. Thanks. I live in Sweden, so I'll try to figure out the time difference. Right after here, basically, we're going to be going on the members only live. From both of you guys, CJ, you can go first with this. What are your thoughts? Do you think, because I don't know. Actually, let's start with you, Leanne. Tell me first what summary judgment is. And do you think we're going to get that? Do you think there will be one, whatever it is? And then CJ, I'd love to hear your opinions too.
What? So we're talking about Lively.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Lively and Wayfair now. Sorry, I should give a little more context.
No, that's fine. So what that is and then the deadline for the motions in this case is the 5th of November. Summary judgment is it's a legal procedure, and the court basically are asked to decide a case without the full trial. So yeah, basically they both parties. I anticipate Wayfarer. I've had a lot of people say, "Oh, do you think Wayfarer?" I think they might file a motion. I can certainly see Lively doing it, but this is where, like, motion to dismiss, the judge is supposed to decide on the merits of the law only and not the evidence. But summary judgment, he basically looks at everything, all the evidence, and then decides whether there's enough there for a judgment without the case proceeding to full trial.
Oh, so it could be over in theory.
It could, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Do you think, oh my gosh, what do you think I feel, so okay, here's I am not a lawyer. I have no idea. I'm learning in real time what this even means. I almost feel like he'd be nervous to do that for an SH claim. What are your thoughts, Leanne? And then we'll get CJ's.
I'm inclined to agree with you. And I think I would hope, right. So everything I have said, I think the judge should do this. I suspect this. The judge has done something completely different. But I think, we still haven't seen the evidence of the SH. So
yeah, nothing. There's no evidence of anything.
To be honest, I was asked earlier, well, what's it mean if Jed Wallace, for instance, gets dismissed again? And the thing is, right, is Jed Wallace is actually very critical to Lively's retaliation claims, of which so far there's not much evidence either. But it would be a lot harder for Lively to argue then that without Jed Wallace, that Melissa Nathan and Jen Abel, even the PR women, were able to cause a worldwide social media backlash against Blake Lively, her husband, her businesses, etc. By themselves. They would have needed something more. And obviously Jed Wallace is the so-called social media expert. So if he gets dismissed, Lively's going to have a really hard time. And if she can't prove the SH claims, there's no protected activity. So there's no retaliation either. Yeah. So I'm hoping the judge will dismiss Jed Wallace for a start before the motions for summary judgment. But I would hope that he would say, well, there's just not enough evidence on the face of it, and he needs to go to full trial.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. He's, so many times what we've all thought should be the right thing to do, or what lawyers have said should be the right thing to do. He's kind of not always gone with that. So it'll be interesting to see. CJ, what are your thoughts? What do you think is going to happen next with the summary judgment?
Is the tide shifting? Is Judge Lyman starting to be, I mean, Perez got that win, even though, legally the win was already there. So I don't know if we should see it as like Judge Lyman is maybe turning, or maybe, being more empathic to the other side. So anything can happen. I mean, he might grant that summary judgment. I believe if it's written really, really well, they could have a shot, because, there's a lot that, has happened between the first filings to now. And in summary judgment, Leanne, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there more evidence that can be brought in during the summary judgment?
Yeah, because they'll have expert evidence and everything by that point as well.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in what that's going to bring. Like what new evidence and what new stuff they're going to put together with all the stuff that's come from the depositions and all that stuff. So it's going to be an interesting read for sure. Selfishly, I want it to go to trial because I want to go out and report.
That would be cool.
And because I feel like a trial would put more stuff it would put her feet to the fire a lot more than if it was. But, for Baldoni and for it to just be over, I am praying for a summary judgment so that they can get some peace and move on. I prefer a summary judgment.
Yeah, I can't even imagine the stress that they're under right now. Thank you so much for the super chat. Megyn's company was subpoenaed, but they asked for Megyn's personal emails, messages, contact with Freeman, and so much more. Yeah, it was all a PR move. And we talked about that I think it was a live yesterday, which is like 2 hours long. But it was just a PR move by Blake's team, and likely strategic to not put Megyn's name herself on the subpoena for PR reasons, because then you can be like, we didn't? What are you talking about? And it's all that. This is the thing that makes me just so ashamed, honestly, in the PR industry, because it's just a play on words. It's a play on the truth. It's stretching the truth. It's twisting and manipulating the truth. And that's all narrative control. It's all media manipulation. And it just gets me so upset. Don't fuck with justice is in the chat. Hello, my friend. It's so nice to see you. Brief equals argue Fed common law, not just NV shield law. I don't know if that was in response to something we were talking about. Thank you so much for the clarification and the super chat, my friends. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me today on your Saturday. It was so nice to see you guys. Let's let everyone know, where can they find you? CJ, you start. Where can everyone find you?
I am C Journalist 24 on all platforms. And I know a lot of people were having trouble finding me, but everyone's like, no, don't change it or whatever. But I was like, should I change it to something easier? Because a lot of people were typing in CJ Journalist 24.
Oh.
And then a lot of people were typing in Citizen Journalist 24. So it was like, when Andy had shouted it out or whatever, there was some comments that they were like, it was so hard to find you. But it's just CJ or C Journalist, and I just capitalize the C and the J, so it looks like I get why it could get confusing, but it's just C Journalist 24.
And I will say, even though I've liked and subscribed, sometimes for whatever reason, it does still struggle to find your actual YouTube. It's not the first one that comes up. So yes, that is something that I've noticed as well. And where can we find you, Leanne?
So I'm on X as Kiara J 2001. I'm also on YouTube as Leanne Newton 1572.
And you're the one that found the metadata as well.
I am,
from the New York Times article.
I am, yes.
Yes. I was going through. Oh gosh, guys, there's so much happening. CJ froze on us. You're back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Yay. There's so much happening on the channel, guys. You want to subscribe, because tonight I have a very interesting piece coming out. There's more drama in this lawsuit, more characters being brought in. But I was going through some old videos of someone, and people were saying, this person found the metadata, or this person found it. I'm like, no, that was Leanne. She found the metadata on the New York Times. You're the one that broke that news.
Yeah, well, yes, I did. I gave it to Melanie King, actually, to to report on it because I didn't have any platform at all. I was literally using X.
Yeah, that's true. You're and newer, I'd say, within the last few months to YouTube, right?
Yes. Yeah, only a couple of months. So this is still all very new to me.
It's all good. You guys will get used to it. CJ, you're going to grow the brand with video on now, which is so incredible. And don't worry.
Grow the Roman empires. That's our inside joke.
What is your Roman Empire, my friend? Tell everyone.
Today, what is my Roman Empire? Actually, the Donna Adelson trial is my Roman Empire. I want to catch up on that. If y'all want to be like me, Jen Just Law or Jen Does Law? I'm going to try and find a night, like if not tonight, then maybe tomorrow night. Cause I know that me and DFJ still want to do that Perez deep dive into like, what could they possibly argue the other side or whatever. But the Donna Adelson case is getting so crazy. I don't know if you follow true crime or whatever, but it's a whole family that masterminded the unaliving of a guy just because he wouldn't let his kids relocate. So the hitman has gone down. The hitman's girlfriend has gone down. The brother of the wife has gone down. Now the mom, this is the mom's trial. So it's the lady's mom is going to trial. And then, so we're trying to get, the wife, because we think she's the ultimate mastermind. And they did give her immunity in all the other trials and stuff. But yeah, it's just been getting spicy. I've been catching like little bits and pieces. So right now I'm like, that's my Roman Empire. I want to catch up. I want to just get it out of my system. I'm probably going to just be reading tweets from Jen Does Law to catch up because she does a really good job. Kind of like Inner City Press, how he did the tweeting.
Oh, yeah.
Even though there's videos, but like, do you think I'm gonna have time to watch 8 hours of footage? Because it's a long time. I think it started on Monday, the trial. But yeah, that's my new Roman Empire, Donna Adelson.
Well, you got my interest peaked because Emily's streaming it, and I was kind of bummed. Well, not bummed. I'm glad that came out wrong. I am very glad that Kohberger took his deal. He's in jail where he belongs, etc. But I was planning on the Kohberger trial to follow that this summer. And when that name Donna Adelson came up, I was like, I don't know. It doesn't really pique my interest, but now you've piqued my interest. That is really interesting.
No, it is super spicy. And I have a video of like, if you want like just like the rundown of like the story of like who the characters are and stuff, it does have technical difficulties. So after I was sending people over there, I was like, oh, this is the one that was like my 4th video and it was like freezing up and I had the wheel of death on my screen and I went back to the screen to change windows. So I was like, maybe that's not the best. But if you go to my True Crime X channel, it's like a community. If you go under my communities, you can find it. It's Objection Crime Chatter. I also have like all like, who you can follow for, updates as far as like the TLDR on it. Cause it is complicated. It's a 10-year-old case with trials already. Like it is.
Wow.
Sure.
Okay. So that's pretty complicated.
There's some great channels that have summed it up.
Amazing. And Leanne, what on your channel? So you're primarily covering the case. Do you have any streams planned that people can go over and get ready to hear some more from you?
Yeah. So I I accidentally went live and did a live stream solo. I was planning to just do like a really quick jump in, announce the judge's order on jurisdiction over Perez, and then jump out. But whilst I was like on the other screen reading the court order, when I come back to chat, there was over 300 people in there, and it took me by surprise. So I stuck around. I was like, "Oh, I'll answer some questions," and I was there for about an hour and a half. And people really enjoyed it. So the feedback was overwhelmingly positive. So I'm going to try and do more of that because I said last night, primarily I've been doing these filings on X threads, but that takes hours to do.
Yeah.
And the filings, by the time I've done one filing, there are like 10 more things that have just dropped on the docket.
Yeah.
It's just a lot for one person to try and do by themselves. So I'm probably going to do more of the live streams now because I also like answering questions where I can.
Yeah.
And people have questions. I haven't a combination of confidence and not wanting to tread on other people's toes who do it, like Lauren, for instance, who reads filings. I wasn't going to do like a filings reading, but I think now I am going to do it in a sort of with a different style.
Nice.
But do like roll it into a Q&A, which I'm already doing a Q&A on Fridays with DFJ, but cover things as they're coming down and have a more focused thing on Mondays and Wednesdays. I'm planning to do at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Amazing. And everyone's saying in the chat they loved you. Gigi says you did spectacular on your own. People are saying they love the Q&As. So that's amazing.
Yeah, I was a bit of I lack a bit of confidence. I know that sometimes my speech is a little bit stuttery and I take a moment to get some words out. I had a stroke actually a few years ago. Just to clarify, that's why I can sometimes take my time to say something. But I also try to be very sure of what I'm saying as well. But I wasn't expecting people to enjoy it, so it gave me a little boost. So I'll try and do that because I know people want to be able to ask questions, and I like answering them.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I will let you ladies go. And I loved having you both on. You're both so lovely. I consider you both friends, personal friends, and friends within this community. We'll leave with I'm Not a Bot 55, reminding everyone, join as a member because I have tea for us on members only. Yes, you guys are getting the first look. So
and hopefully you can join me soon because I want to pick your PR brain. So I know you were saying upcoming streams. I want to steal you. I want to steal you for one. Because outside of Blake Lively, there is so much PR drama. I know you said there's not enough hours in the day. You're like, I'd be sending her stuff like, look at this one, look at this one. Ever since she taught me how to like find it, I'll be like, what about this? What about this? So hopefully we can catch you on a Friday for Objection Sidebar one of these Fridays.
Yeah, let's do it. CJ had asked me previously, and at that point I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Screw this. I don't want to do this anymore. And she's like, okay, you can come if you want. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not coming. So yes, absolutely will take you up on that, my friend. I would be honored. And yes, on the members only, guys. So this was here's the thing. Ever since I said I'm not doing PR anymore, like taking on clients for PR, although I do have a PR course that's coming. So anyone that's a streamer, a podcaster, entrepreneur, and you want to learn how to create a brand that gets you seen and sought out as an expert, everyone needs that. It's not just for celebrities. I do have that course. Actually, I can drop the link because it's right here, actually, I think. However, ever since I said I'm not taking on clients anymore, I've had people reaching out with stories that they cannot, PR people, publicists, lawyers, people in the industry, not connected to Justin, not connected. It's not Wayfair. It's not Baldoni, but reaching out and being like, hey girl, hey, I can't cover this because that was kind of the sticky spot I was in is when you're in the industry, you do have to be careful of what you say because it's how you pay your bills. So, I can't cover this. Do you want it? And this is one of those stories that was sent to me of like, hey, I can't cover this. Do you want it? If you're interested. So we're going to talk about it on the members only. We're going to touch on it today. And then on Monday, I will have an expose for you guys ready to go. And then later tonight, I have some interesting tea. I was getting emails saying, Ashley, what's going on? Who's being talked about here? When did this happen? Do you have the receipts? I have the receipts and I'm going to show you guys the receipts. So make sure you subscribe and like to the channel. But with that said, my friends, thank you so much again. I love you guys. Thank you, Leanne. Thank you, CJ.
Thank you.
I'll see you guys soon. And members, I'll see you right after this on the members only. I'll see you there. Bye, guys. Thank you again, ladies.
Thanks. Bye.